Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to stand on the existing protocol. So with that, I will just go straight to my work. From all what I've been hearing since yesterday, today, uh, I've got to I've got to know that art and religion cannot be used in place of each other, like I stated in my work. So Coleman 1998 states that the interplay between art and religion is not interchangeable or identical, even though they are both universally present in societies with long-lasting historical associations. So whenever he further stated that whenever religion diminishes, art declines. Historically, religious motifs, themes, insights, figures, practices, and values have enriched and animated world art, and it, in turn, has facilitated the transmission of sacred sculptures, doctrines, experiences, and prayers. This paper discusses the sacredness of Benin cut arts, and it argues that there are sacred arts that cannot cease to be sacred, but remain sacred wherever they found themselves. Religious provides rituals, that is, acts in prayer, acts of prayer, meditation, collective contrition, or celebration, to awaken and reinforce personal and communal sense of our connection to the ultimate truth, according to Gottlieb 2003. Here, religion becomes significant because it is charged with the sacred. In traditional African societies, both religion and art play vital roles in the lives of the people. Here, traditional arts are functional and utilitarian. Art historians refer to these arts as art not for the sake of art, but for the sake of art of life itself. They are functional, daily with expressions of African beliefs and practices, which has to do with their philosophies. Examples include the religious practice of the Akwaba dolls of the Ashanti women of Ghana that promotes fertility and good luck. The Ibeji Efiki of the Yoruba people of Nigeria that represents a deceased twin, and also serve as a link between the living and the dead one, as well as the Benin cut arts. The Benin cut arts are from Benin Kingdom in modern-day Nigeria. They are unique forms of artistic expression that offer invaluable insights into the historically rich and sophisticated African civilization, according to the Benin Art Gallery 2023. However, most of these cultural art treasures that are sacred were carted away during the Benin Punitive Expedition that took place in 1897. These artworks were taken to London and auctioned out, which made Benin art seen in so many places and museums in the Western world, as well as in 216 or thereabouts institutions in Western world. Laiwola 2024 notes that looting caused the Benins to use artificial filters, that is, the use of catalogs, postcards, and magazines from Europe to reach out to their culture and their forefathers' works for reproduction. This is because they are sacred and must be done conventionally, like the earlier ones. Cambridge Dictionary defines sacred arts as something that is considered to be holy and deserving respect, especially because of its connection with God. Renard, 1993, pointed out three qualities that makes up sacred things. Instrumentally important if its value depends on use. Subjectively valuable to those that desired it, and intrinsically valuable if its value is independent of what people enjoy or want. Dockham, 1915, referred to it as those symbols, rituals, and artifacts of collective experience that is greater than, transcendent, above, and beyond the ordinary. While Desmond Church, 1955, further explained that sacred art's character can be derived from its rights, use, and essential nature. Also, Dockham, 1915, explained that something can become sacred through its history and how it came to be. Like a standard 2008 went on to say that they are created to glorify the Oba and honor the ancestors. I'm talking about the Benin cut art and its typical examples, which is a typical examples of these sacred artworks I'm talking about. Ebigbe 2012 states how the Benin used their traditional art to formally memorialize major events that mark their history and the life and deeds of noble citizens in Benin society, especially their monarchs. Also, Laiwola 2024 mentioned that these cut arts hold a lot of symbolisms for the Benin people because they are functional objects that serve particular purpose according to their makeup within their culture and are still needed in Benin and not made to be art displayed in Western museums. However, these works were being returned, and that is recently we have 2 of these works returned, that is in May 19, 2024, to the palace. There are two stools that were brought from Germany, government Germany, through the DG of National Commission for Museums and Monuments in Nigeria. Okay, these are my slides, which shows the event that took place in the palace when these 2 stools were brought to Nigeria. Actually, there was a jubilation in Nigeria as a whole, and then most especially in the palace. The first figure is the 2 stools that were brought. I think one was bronze and the other one is wooden. And then the second figure is talking about the Oba dancing. And Oba is seen as a divine being. So they don't dance all the time. They dance when there is need to dance, maybe during festivals and during their coronations. But because of the significance of the stools, the Oba had to dance in his palace. The third figure is when they were trying to lift the stools to where the Oba can sit on it, which is on the fourth figure. You can see the Oba sitting on the stool. Actually, these stools functions not every day. You know, the Oba normally sits on them during his coronation. And usually when he's having trying to consult the gods through the artifacts, or when he's in the altar space trying to consult the artifacts. So he sits on these stools. So you can see that the stools are very, very important. That was why when both of them were returned to Benin, it was a thing of celebration. Okay, so figure 5 is also talking about collecting and robbing of the oro. The oro is known as a white chalk. It's a white chalk that signifies sacredness. It's an element of sacredness. It's not used all the time. It is being used whenever there is celebration, there is joy, there is happiness. I remember I grew up in Benin, Edo State. So I remember those days when a woman gives birth to a baby, you see everybody rubbing oro, white chalk on their body. So if you want to, celebrate with the mom or the family, when you go there, you too have to rub the white chalk either on your face or on your chest to show that you are happy with the family and what is going on. So figure 6 shows when the Oba, was rubbing the oro on his hand, showing that this calls for celebration. This is really a celebration period. As well as the 7th one, you can see that he's spreading it all over him, even on the other stool that was in front of him. He was just spreading the oro, or the white chalk rather, everywhere around him. And then figure 8 is on when he was praying and handing over a chalk of the white chalk to the DG that brought the works. Because actually these works were returned 2022, and they were kept in the National Museum, actually there was a chaos on who should have it. Is it the real Benin Kingdom where it was taken, or should they leave it in the National Museum? But eventually the federal government, was asked to intervene that it should be taken back to where it was taken from. So he had to return it. So the Oba blessed him and prayed for him using the white chalk. So my methods and theories, my theories are on religion, cultural histories, methodologies, on qualitative research, video elicitation, observation and discussion, and then my contextual analysis is on historical, cultural, religious, political, and indigenous studies and practices. From this study, it is evident that Benin artworks are sacred and cannot cease to be sacred because of these reasons. They are used for adoration of the Oba, that is the king, who is seen as sacred and divine being. They are points of means of communication through which the Oba reaches the ancestors and deities as well as his people, because he serves as the intermediary between the ancestors and his people. And that is why he's seen as the divine being. And then it is used for rituals, whether it's during cleansing, during festivals, during ceremonies. These art objects are very, very functional and useful. They also serve as symbolic representations of royalty and bravery. They are used for documentations. They don't need to write. Just sculpting images is enough to talk about centuries of events, history that took place in Benin. So they were really, really for documentation of the Benin peoples and their history. They never loses their sacredness. They remain sacred even when they are taken out of their original context or environment. Irrespective of where they found themselves, they continue to be sacred according to the people's belief and rights that sustain them. On the other hand, non-religious artworks can be sacred because they are important in their essential nature or what they stand for, according to Desmond, 1955, and Dockham, 1993. An example could be a treasured sculptural piece that is passed on from generation to generation, signifying how exceptional and significant both the artworks and the receivers are. Thank you. I just want to show some of the slides of these artworks that were carted away from Benin. Just a few of them. Nigeria, we are actually grateful for that, and we hope more will come. Thank you.